The Pirate Rescue Adventure. This is a ratios review unit, and it's in a story format. So it's a pirate story. Students start out reading the story, and then to move further in the story, they have to do ratio problems. So when they get to slide 5, they're going to be doing a drag and drop. They've got sentence frames. They just need to move each of these terms into the correct place. So they just click and hold, and then they can move these into place. They get a point value for each one of these slides, which they're doing ratio problems. I have the point value on the teacher slide deck. So you can change the points if you like, but I have a total of 60 points for the entire project. So the story continues. Then students are going to write ratios in 3 different ways. So they've got the ratio 5 to 7. They just write it with a colon. They can write it as a fraction. They can write it with the word 2 in between. So they just have to write that ratio in 3 different ways. The story continues. Slide 10, they're going to be moving these ratios in word form into columns, either part to whole or part to part. So again, they just click and hold and then move these into the correct columns. And again, there will be point values for those. The story continues. Then they're going to be connecting equivalent ratios, just like equivalent fractions. So they come up here to the line tool, click on line. They have a little plus sign. Click where they want it to start. And then these blue circles are where they move the line. So they just click on it and they move it to their equivalent ratio. Now they can play around with this and be creative. They can change their line, change the color, or they can change the thickness. So they can play around with this, be creative, make it their own, and then they'll get point values for that. Slide 15, they're going to be filling in ratio tables. They just want to make each of these ratios equivalent. So they click in each one of these, type the correct number. And again, they'll get total points for that. This one's already started, so they're going to be taking a ratio table and creating ordered pairs from the table. So they just click in here, write the correct numbers for the ordered pair. Now they continue the story. Now they're going to be taking those ordered pairs from the previous slide, and they're just going to be plotting the points. So they just click on one of these points. So 1, 3 would be approximately here, 2, 6, and so on. So they're going to plot all 6 of those points. When they get to slide 26, they're going to be looking for proportional graphs. So if any of these graphs are proportional, they're going to put an X in the box next to it. So it'd be a straight line through the origin, so it would be these 2. Slide 28, they're going to be creating unit rates. So they're given rates here, and they have to change them to unit rates. So 120 miles for 2 hours would be 60 miles per hour. And they're going to do that with all 5 of these unit rates. Story continues. And then at the end, the students are going to be answering comprehension questions about the story. So they really want to pay attention to the story, not just go through and do all the ratio slides. So they are going to be given points for answering these correctly. If they need to go back and read the story again to find the answer, they can do that. And there'll be points for this section, and then the total points for the entire deck, which I have as 60 points total. Now, all of the completed slides are on a separate slide deck. So there's a student copy and a teacher copy. So I hope you enjoy.